Brett is a person of honor, integrity, and a person of strong moral character.
He stood out as the most responsible guy who treated us with kindness and respect.
The allegation against Brett is inconsistent with everything that I have known about him as a person.
I have never seen him be anything but a true gentleman in all aspects of his life.
Women who know Judge Brett Kavanaugh showing their support there after a wild week in the Supreme Court confirmation process and the assault allegation against him. So what do women think about everything that's going on in Washington right now? We have a whole panel of lovely ladies to discuss this morning. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Jeannie, I'm going to ask you first. What do you make of what these women just spoke about compared to the picture that's being painted on the other side?
Well, it's interesting. They're talking about him right now as an adult, and they're talking about what they know of working with him. But if you look in the past, the Yale paper this week said he was in a secret society called Truth and Courage, and they had a vulgar name that I won't say on TV that everybody can look up. But it was an all-male secret society, and it speaks to who he was then. There were drunken tirades. I really think that we need to figure out exactly what went on. His side needs to be heard, and her side needs to be heard. And the fact that she had extemporaneous notes and a psychiatrist from 2012 with his name in it, she could not have known that he would have been nominated for the Supreme Court.
Kathy,
everything needs to be looked at.
Thank you. And Kathy, what do you think the best way is to get to the truth? Because that's ultimately what we want to know. If Kavanaugh is going to be on the Supreme Court for, the rest of his life, essentially, then we want to make sure the guy is who everybody thinks he is.
Right, and the thing that we all need to realize is that Dems, not only can they not handle the truth, but they don't care about the truth. This is about, by any means necessary, destroying this man and his family. Earlier this week, Senator Hirono from Hawaii told us all, and many others alluded to as well, that if a woman makes an accusation, she is to be believed, no matter how outlandish that accusation is, not even how politically convenient that accusation may be. We need to believe her, and if that is a new litmus test we're to operate under, then I want to know the names of every single congressman who paid off a sexual harassment case using a congressional slush fund, which are taxpayer dollars, just to silence their accuser. Because if the litmus test is whatever a woman says is to be believed and the man is to be destroyed, then I want to know those names. But we're never going to get to those names.
A lot of arguments.
We're never going to get to those names because truth is not the issue with Democrats. It is about pushing a political agenda, no matter what the cost is, and we need to get our minds around that.
Beth, do you think that? Do you think that this is all politics?
I think just to follow up with that real quickly, as women, I think that we need to stand up against that. If that's the litmus test, I mean, that's utterly ridiculous. But let's look at the facts here. He is a sitting judge on the second highest court in our country. He is a strict constitutionalist. He's been a man of character with an impeccable reputation his entire life. There's been an allegation 36 years ago that is unsubstantiated. That doesn't change those facts. That doesn't change the facts of what he has shown us as a judge all of these years. He's been on the second highest court for 12 years.
Right, and I agree because I feel like he's being judged based on something which he's denying could have happened when he was 17 and intoxicated, and the victim or the alleged victim admitted to being intoxicated as well. So the credibility and to stop someone's future because of something that happened 36 years ago is ridiculous in my opinion, and it's not what we should be using. We should be looking at his track record as a federal judge, his track record as a coach of a girls' sports team, a father, a son. What about those things? We shouldn't go back. We've all made silly mistakes, and not to say he did this at 17.
Grassley has said, we'll do this in California, we'll do this in D.C., we'll do it in public, we'll do it in private. How do we get to the truth?
We get to the truth where the FBI continues the work it's always done. I teach constitutional law. What we always teach is that this has been done repeatedly. The FBI background check that came out after Anita Hill's allegation, 2 weeks the FBI took to investigate. John Tower, same time frame. There is time to investigate and there is time to hold a hearing so we can get to the truth. If Keisha's right and there's no evidence there, he should be confirmed to the court and he will be. They should both have a chance to be heard. And the idea that we would push this through for a lifetime appointment and do it quickly makes absolutely no sense.
And I don't want to push
This is not being pushed through.
And I agree.
Dianne Feinstein had this information from from Dr. Ford several months ago.
But she wanted to be anonymous.
And then she leaks it out, and they let it out.
Washington Post.
No, it doesn't matter. It just leaks out, and they let it out.
I want to get to something else, because on The View, which is an opinion show, we all respect everybody's opinions. But Joy Behar said this. I want to get your response to it.
These white men, old, by the way, are not protecting women. They're protecting a man who is probably guilty.
Probably guilty?
So let's just throw the Sixth Amendment right out the window. So can we just throw the Sixth Amendment
we'll start with you.
right out the window? Because what we're doing is creating a very dangerous precedent, not only for the accused, but also for the accuser, because rapes do happen. Molestations do occur. And when they happen, as a woman, I want to be believed. But this kangaroo court that the Democrats are trying to pull on us right now is only going to hurt our cause. There's no truth in what they're doing.
I think that it's more about politics than it is about justice. Because if it is going to be about justice, and as an attorney, I can tell you, there has been no testimony taken to this point. All we have is a letter. It's just a letter. There has been no evidence. We have the proper forum, and the proper forum is with the Senate Judiciary Committee. They need to take testimony under oath and let it play out that way.
Right.
We have that set in place already.
And if I can dovetail off of what both Beth and Jeannie are saying, I absolutely, as a Democrat, and I will speak for all Democrats in this situation, we want to get to the truth. We cannot have the same thing that happened to Anita Hill.
The
FBI needs to investigate, just like you said.
Absolutely. Unfortunately.
Yeah, the FBI should investigate, just like Jeannie said.
But they have. There's been
and
6
Democrats
FBI,
want to get to the truth.
but they've already done it 6 times. There's been 6 FBI checks already.
Okay, Jeannie, I want to get your take on it, because her attorneys initially said Kavanaugh needs to go first. Well, how can Kavanaugh go first if he doesn't know what the allegations necessarily are? What does that mean? What's the motivation that these attorneys had to say that?
Well, we're listening to a negotiated process, and we're getting leaks out of that negotiation. My personal opinion is that she should go first with the allegation, and he would be given a chance to respond, as I think is standard practice. But again, we have to wait and see. That is a negotiation going on. We're hearing bits and pieces. Let's take a breath, wait and see. This is not a court of law. This is about the American public and who will sit on the Supreme Court when our children and our grandchildren are alive. We should hear the allegation. We should get his response and let the Senate make a fair
final word.
But I also we have to remember there's a due process procedure, and no one should be forced to prove their innocence. This woman says he did something. She should come forward and try to prove that he did it. And if she can't, then he should be confirmed. And that's the bottom line.
Correct. Absolutely.
Ladies, thank you so much for your time. That's all the time we have today. Everybody's really amped up about this morning.
This
Thanks
is our
so much.
country.
Yes, and it's our future. It's very important.
Highest court in the land. This is critical.
That's why it's one of our biggest stories today, one of 2.